I'm glad to be here. Every day you have a day is a better day. So anyway, today we're going to talk about, and this is a little sad but kind of historic. So, I like to bring things that we all learn together, things that I didn't really know that much about. I learned too, and then hopefully I help you learn. So today's topic is, I already spelled something wrong there. Jeez, I tell you, I get paid real well, but I shouldn't be making these mistakes. But anyway, bottom line, this is Laika, Laika, the first cosmonaut. And as you know, in America, we have astronauts. In Russia, or the Soviet Union, we have cosmonauts. So this is Laika, the very first cosmonaut, and we're going to go through the whole history and how things progressed, how and where the little sadness is, because animals are so forgiving, so there for you. If you want to go somewhere, they want to go somewhere with you. It's just, they're the best buddies you can have. Okay. Again, Jim Whitehead here, All Power Group. And let's talk about Laika. Laika was born around 1954. She was a stray dog found on the streets of Russia, Moscow to be exact. Laika was a mixed breed dog, primarily a terrier. She weighed approximately 13 pounds. Now, you're going to see some of the pictures here. There were not, I don't think, any real pictures of or anything that would be something you could use in a presentation. So these are related to with AI doing a search on Laika and with GPT pulling all the facts of the history of this wonderful animal. Anyway, she weighed about 13 pounds. And she was selected for a space mission. Laika was selected as part of a Soviet Union space program. The program sought to determine whether a living organism could survive being launched into orbit and the conditions of space travel. So this is the first opportunity. As I will say through this, and this was like a one-way trip, and that's the only thing that kind of bothers me. But again, it happened. It's reality. My discussing and showing you all about Laika is a tribute to what she did. Her training, along with other dogs, Laika underwent extensive training that included confinement in small spaces, being spun in centrifuges to simulate the effects of G-force and exposure to loud noises that would occur during the launch. You've seen these the G-forces, kind of referring to one of my favorite movies, Top Gun Maverick. You watch as they progress through the canyons. They then have to go up and down to, in essence, drop a missile/bomb right in the middle of this downtrend. But to get out of this gully, they had to turn up and push the jet to the absolute maximum power. And the recognition was that they would hit 10 Gs. Now, 10 Gs, none of us probably could withstand that amount of pressure. And what it does is it makes you kind of lighter in so many words, but it also causes your brain, I know not everybody has a brain, but those are brains, when you get, and what it causes you with this G-force is you get less oxygen in your brain. So what you'll see, and if you did watch Top Gun Maverick, when they got up to, the 10 Gs, they actually would act like they fell asleep. Now, if you're piloting a jet at that speed and you fall asleep or a simulated sleep or unconsciousness, you're in trouble. Anyway, the mission. Laika was chosen to be the sole occupant of Sputnik 2, the second spacecraft to be launched into Earth's orbit by the Soviet Union. And I remember I was alive and a little youngster at that time. It was where you'd feel that this is pretty cool. And yes, this did teach us a lot from both on the American side and obviously more on the Russian side. At the time, I remember specifically feeling that it wasn't, I wanted our country to be the winners, if you know what I'm trying to say. And they did Sputnik and then Sputnik 2 with Laika, and we kind of were not in the same skill factor of space travel that the Russians started out at. But luckily, President Kennedy said, something, we're going to beat the Russians. So I remember him saying, we will have a man on the moon by 1969. Okay, the launch. Sputnik 2 was launched on November 3rd, 1957, less than 1 month after the successful launch of Sputnik 1, the first artificial satellite. The objective of the mission aimed to test the feasibility of sending a living creature into space and collecting data on the effects of space travel on a living organism. I mean, they had no idea. Yes, we breathe oxygen here. Yes, they can, as we do, have oxygen in tanks. We make oxygen now, so things have really progressed. By the way, I'm a respiratory therapist for 30 years. So when I talk about oxygen, yeah, that's kind of a lot of what I did back in the 70s and 80s and 90s. So until I started my own businesses in 2000, which was a generator business. Anyway, okay. They didn't know what was going to happen. The orbit. Laika successfully orbited Earth in Sputnik. She became the first animal to orbit the planet. Survival, and this is the sad part of it, if I didn't do this, it wouldn't change the outcome. I mean, if I could say, well, I'm not going to do this because whatever I say happens. No, this happened, and I feel bad with any animal for anything that's sad. Unfortunately, Laika's survival was short-lived. The spacecraft was not designed for return. So in other words, it's a one-way trip. And Laika died within the hours of the launch due to overheating caused by a malfunction in the thermal control system. Now, she gave her life for our future. And I know you'd say, well, the dogs don't know. They're smarter than we think we are. We think they are. And just because they don't talk doesn't mean they're not extremely smart. And as I've been doing these series of animals and gorillas, et cetera, they're as smart as we are in a lot of respects. It's just, they don't have vocal cords to speak. They don't have small brains. They have probably, if you look at weight ratio, the brain is larger than ours in the sense of their size and the size of their brain. I know you wanted to know that. You won't be tested on any of this, so you don't have to remember it. But unfortunately, the initial reports claim she survived for several days, but later it was revealed she died a few hours after launch. The legacy and significance. Scientific impact. Laika's mission provided valuable data on the physiological effects of space travel on living organisms, contributing to an understanding and a development of human space flight. Now, the next big step in Elon Musk with SpaceX wants to get us all to go to Mars. I won't be here probably by that time, but that's okay. That's okay. I'll leave it to you guys. So if you're much younger than I am, just plan that maybe you'll be invited to go to Mars. Or maybe you won't be invited. Maybe they'll say you're going. Anyway, the ethical controversy. Laika's mission sparked significant ethical debates regarding the treatment of animals in scientific research. Now, here's one of my asides. And again, this is not, as you would say, built into this program. There used to be, and I don't know if they use this term, and this was my mother. My mother was an animal lover, and that's why I'm an animal lover. They had what they called vivisection. And what vivisection was, and maybe still is, where they take animals, put them in cages, monkeys, could be dogs, you name it, and they test things on them to see what's going to happen. A lot of the cosmetics, certain things that you'd say, no, they didn't use a dog to test that. But my mother was a big anti-vivisection person, and she would even send her hard-earned money to try to, with anti-vivisection. And, that's one of my fond memories of my mother. Her sacrifice highlighted the need for more humane treatment and consideration of animal welfare in scientific experiments. They shouldn't be experimenting on animals. God bless them. Okay, the memorials and recognition statues and memorials. Several memorials and statues have been erected in honor of Laika. And you hope that at least has it where people and Laika is instilled in our memory. And that in itself is a tribute. They were erected in honor of Laika. In 2008, a monument featuring Laika was unveiled near the military research facility in Moscow where she was trained. Okay, stamps and coins. I know she would probably say, "Is that all you did?" Anyway, Laika has been commemorated on stamps and coins issued by various countries celebrating her contribution to space exploration. Cultural impact. Laika remains a poignant symbol in popular culture, often referenced in literature, music, and art. Her story is a reminder of sacrifices made in the pursuit of scientific progress. And yes, there's a lot of humans that have gone through a lot of different things that you would say, wow, you know, like the atomic bomb testing and things that we had no idea how much radiation and how that would affect the body. And as you all probably know, it didn't have a happy ending in most cases. Okay, the importance. As the first animal to orbit Earth, Laika paved the way for human space exploration. The data collected from her mission was crucial for the subsequent manned space missions. Laika's mission is a testament to the courage and resilience of early space pioneers. Despite the tragic outcome, her journey represents a significant milestone in the history of space exploration. Laika's story is a blend of scientific achievement and ethical reflection, highlighting the complexities of progress and the enduring impact of those who contribute to it. So that's about where we are. A couple more pictures here. And again, there are no that I could find of actual real pictures of Laika due to the time and so on and so forth. But the fact that we're honoring her from back, you know, in the 60s is hopefully something that at least her memory will always be with us. Anyway, I want to thank you very much for listening to this. I love learning new things. I say this every time, and I appreciate you learning with me and supporting the channel. And we've got Jamie, Miss Perfection, Big Orange, and they're back from vacation. I had to stay, but they said, "Hey, Dad, Jim, I want to go on vacation. You don't pay me enough to be here all the time." So they're back. You'll see them, you know, today. They're gonna tell you all about their what they did. So anyway, thank you very, very much. I've got to be honest, you know, I review all this after, and either sometimes I see mistakes as I preview it at night, or in this case, misspelling on the very first slide. Now, if I was working for someone, getting paid for doing this, they would say, it's not acceptable. But, you know, I do my best. I do my best every day on anything I do. That's how I always function in business for 20 plus years. And of course, as a respiratory therapist in the 70s and 80s and 90s, you know, I took care of sick people all the time. And by the way, if you smoke, try to quit. I'm working with, because I also do EcoFlow power, I call them power generators. I used to do standby generators, but the power generators with the battery system and systems and solar and everything else we can do in charging, that is the new power backup solution. And that's why we brought in Big Orange and Big Orange is the sales manager for that end. So anyway, thank you very much. Appreciate it. I hope you do real well and have a good weekend. We're getting there. No, actually it's Wednesday, but that's okay. Thank you again.